get your act together and stop doing certain things. And here we are, just stuck doing things we
Yes.
shouldn't be doing. And they really didn't want us playing with the bomb. And they said that's not a good thing. And they were here for 2 or 3 years. And unfortunately, they left saying they were very disappointed. And this is our life. We have to decide what's important and what's not important. But I felt, going back to the girl who said she was an alien, I personally felt super uncomfortable with her saying it, and I addressed it, and they thought I was being a bully. And I said, I'm not being a bully. Do you want to talk about it 2 years from now when you're older? She was in her early 20s, like 21, 22. And she said, I'm out on my own. Okay, there's your answer. Psychologically, you're having a hard time being out on your own. You want to feel special. Well, I was adopted. Okay, well, how can you be adopted if you're an alien? Nobody wants to adopt an alien.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
highly
the saga
unusual
goes
because would
on.
you do it on purpose? I mean,
It just
right?
it bothered me. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the saga,
Yes.
and uh,
Uh-oh. Have we lost Jeanette
do
again?
it. Be
There you
proud.
are.
No, here. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly now.
Oh, good, good. But all I'm saying is, in this field, there are yo-yo heads out there that will take advantage of the circumstance, and they'll take advantage of you, and you're going to be mocked years later, and it's it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a pretty picture. And all these times when they think, "Oh, I'm an alien," it's going to turn out bad. It's so sad because we just have predators for people that are vulnerable, not feeling important, and so forth. So anyway, I've had my say, and again, mental health. 50% of the world, mental health is an issue. It's also what you eat, you are, and so we have to really look at everything. So the paranormal is super complicated. I mean, you're working with your brain, you're working with your eyes, you're working with your hearing. When you talk to the dead, I tell people I had 3 near-death experiences. I can communicate with the other side. Now, mine is a little different. I can pick up information to help me find a missing person. And then there are other psychics, they only go on emotion. It's a very weird category.
If somebody is
Period.
going only on emotion, are they able to be accurate?
It's hard, um, but you can certainly feel, what's that word I want to use? You can certainly feel evil.
Well, yeah,
You can,
I
I
can
mean,
recognize
so,
that.
I mean, you can drive down the street and say, "Oh my gosh, I feel that guy being evil," you know. I mean, so again, it's complicated, and we just have to work with it. But there are times, like I said, I get very frustrated with my field. I hear, I think I hear it all more than other people. When I first started out, I'll just share this with the crowd. I used to say to God, why do I get all the hard cases? And I did. I kept getting all the darn hard cases. I was really frustrated by it. I was like, this isn't too good. Why do I keep getting all, and I realized later maybe it's because I needed to learn quickly so that when I um had a really good case that needed me, I could handle it. And because a lot of psychics can't handle crime work. It it's an ugly field.
I could see that. I would
Mhm.
I would not be comfortable addressing that.
Mhm. Well, I mean, how much time do we have left? And I'll share either some fun stories. I'll share um, quirky stories. Does anybody have a request for anything they want to hear?
Well, primarily it's just your stories.
Well,
So they
all
like
right.
they they just like what you want to share because it shares. part of you. They understand you a little better, I think.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll share a story that's funny. Years ago, I was asked to. I was at a conference, the American Society of Dowsers conference, which is annually around June, July every year, and there were quite a bit of attendees. And I tell people, you got to go to some of these meetings. They're just great, and the people are great. And I get there, and my father was lecturing to, I don't know, 500 people maybe. And I was approached in a crowd by a guy, and he said, I'm the writer from the Smithsonian, and I'm going to write an article. And instead of your dad, I'd like to talk to you, but all these people say you're a fraud. I said, really?
Really, thanks for boosting my ego. Why of
Yeah,
course
thank
I'll
you
give you
so
an
much.
interview.
Yeah, that's like a real stab. And I said, okay, thank you for that. Um, Misconception. But I said, what do you want from me? And he goes, well, I'll tell you what, I'm giving a bunch of the Dowser tests, and whoever's right, I'm going to say they're amazing. And whoever is wrong, I'm going to say they're a fraud. And he goes, and by the way, I think you're a fraud. And I said, oh, really? Okay, then.
Well,
Thank
that's
you.
just double whammies.
Oh, it was not helpful.
What a putz, right?
Yeah, it wasn't good. So I'm going to wrap this up and just say he called me. We'd been talking off and on for about 2 years, and we became acquaintances, nice acquaintances, no problem. And he goes, "Okay, so I've got a missing object. I want you to find." And I said, "Okay." So I wrote down who. His name was Jack Hope, and he was the writer from the Smithsonian Magazine. So that's who. What was the paperwork? And he just said it was an article, I think, about some particular subject matter, but it was the word paperwork. So it's just like Googling something.
Right.
And I had his car, his house, his garage, or his work. All right. And I said, well, here's something weird. I I'm being taken to your car. And of course, the same old story. No, you can't. That's not possible. Blah, blah, blah. And and I said, okay, so I just need you to go to the trunk of your car. And he said, I don't have anything in the trunk of my car. I said, I want you to lift up this, this, and this. And there's paperwork that is so utterly important. You need to go there. So he went ahead and did it. And when he did, he called me back and he just was so blown away. He said, you're not going to believe this. I told you I had some missing paperwork. I said, yes. And he said, well, it's not what I was looking for, but what you told me was exactly where you said it was. But what's weird is I had a lawsuit and I lost the paperwork. And if I didn't have that in the next week, I was going to automatically lose my lawsuit. And he goes,
Oh,
you know how that is, court cases
oh
and
yeah.
paperwork, and we misplace stuff. And he goes, I don't know how you did that, but that's worth its weight in gold for me because I got hit by a cabbie and I didn't have proof and I didn't have the ticket. And he was saying I saved his life. He goes, now let's go back to the missing object I'm looking for. Oh, so I saved your life and that's not good enough. Okay.
Well, we'll just move
So
right along then.
yeah, and then back at the ranch, my emotions are thinking, "Oh my gosh, he still thinks I'm a fake." And so I was laughing because I was sort of cocky about my talent and I knew my talent. So I said, "Okay, so we got the car, we got the apartment, we've got the office or the garage. All right." I said, "I'm going to your apartment." And he said, "Really?" And he goes, I've already looked everywhere. I said, all right, well, let me just tell you what I think. I see I said, I want you to go to your office. And then when you get there, tell me how many file cabinets you have in the office. Because I went with, is it at the desk? Is it at this? Is it at that? And I said, I get the word file cabinet. So he goes, I have about 5 file cabinets in my room. I said, when you walk straight in the room and you go to the window, it's the file cabinet under the window. And I said, I feel like I'm near the floor, but not on the floor. He said, well, there's a desk there. I said, yeah, but it doesn't feel like it's attached. And he goes, has my wife had you come up here and look at my office? I said, no. And you got to laugh. You have to walk people through this stuff. It's just too funny. And I said, here's what we've got. You have got, I think, a desk with a file cabinet rolled under your desk, and it has two drawers because that's what I'm dowsing. And he goes, yes. I said, okay, well, I get that you need to go to the second drawer. And I said, I think you misfiled it, and I want you to open the second drawer. So he opens it. And I said, in the second drawer, I'm seeing the color red. So I'm using that technique of remote viewing or visions, whichever you want to
Right.
call it, whatever you're more comfortable with. And I said, I see the color red. So I want you to go to, I said, is there a red file folder? And my head was telling me Santa Claus or Christmas. And he said, yeah, there's a file folder that is red. I said, okay, go to that file folder and um, go like two behind and two in front. And I think your item is right there. He goes, Ginette, it can't be. These are my two file folders. These are my two drawers where I put all my personal files. I said, just look, will you? And he pulls out he started to pull out the file folder on the red one, and he said, oh my gosh, it says Santa, just like you said. And I said, okay, that's great, but don't take it out because you'll lose your spot, and that's where the file is that you're looking for. And he just thought that was so weird. And I said, I'll tell you what, leave it there, go two in front and two back. I'm always repeating myself. And because the pendulum kept going in the same direction. Definitely yes, definitely yes. And he pulled it out and he started yelling. He was like, oh my God. And I said, what? Did you cut yourself or something? And he said, no, uh, it's right here.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, oh my gosh, it's right here. I said, okay, I'll tell you what you did. And he goes, what? I bet you worked on your project around Christmas. He goes, yes, I did in December. And I said, you told your brain to leave the project next to Christmas because you were working in the December month and you were going to go back and get it, but you got distracted. He goes, yes, I did. And boom, there it was. And
Wow.
these stories happen all the time. So I'm so used to it. But he wrote about me um, in the Smithsonian magazine
I read
that
that
I was,
article.
yeah. He said, I, how do you answer something like that? I mean, even I get surprised by my answers. And I tell people, how does it work? You have to follow the process. And people are always say to me, I must make it seem easy, but it is easy to me now because I've been doing it for so long. And people always say to me, no, it's not there. It's not there. Little kids, not there. It's not there.
Yeah.
And I just constantly find things. So I guess I am my sister's freaky sister. I just get
Well,
used to it.
it's a good thing though.
It is.
Everybody has to be that sometimes. So I don't think you're freaky at all. I think you're charming and very interesting.
Oh,
And
I think it's the field. I have to be honest with you. I really think it's the field because it's just amazing.
the field is
It's
amazing, but not every
mhm.
person who is a psychic is like you. And
No, but
it's
I
refreshing.
no, but I take it seriously. I love what I do. And there are moments where I'll just tell you a quick story. I had to work on a missing person case in near Virginia Beach, and I showed up, and these two FBI agents said, "Could you come to my car?" And I was showing them where the remains are of these two poor victims of crime, and they actually said to me, "What the f do you think you're doing?" I said, "What?" He goes, "What do you think you're doing here?" I said, I was asked to come down and I was given gas money by the family. They paid me to come down and tell you where the remains are. Okay. did you spy on us? It was